This is Season 2, Episode 11 of Are You Afraid of the Dark? The Tale of a Magician's Assistant, and it's told by Gary, whose father works at a magic shop, so we know he loves his magic stories. He told the tale of the Super Specs before this one, which also involved a magic shop. This episode starts off a bit lame, but it gets actually scary towards the end. You get 3 monsters here. Since Gary's been told before that his stories aren't scary enough, it's like he had to compensate for this. The main character of this story is a kid by the name of Todd Marker. And after his father dies, his mother is struggling, so he's going to help her out. She's a artist, so of course she doesn't make that much money, so he decides to get a part-time job. And he comes across what would be a super fun part-time job for a 12-year-old. He gets to be an assistant for Shandu, a traveling magician. He fakes his way through the audition, even though Shandu, being a smart cookie, sees through it. He decides to let him be his assistant, and we see one of their magic shows that is outdoor and what looks like a traveling wagon from the 1800s. So far, this episode is off to a bad start. It's almost like halfway through they realize, oh, we actually got to throw something a little more interesting. So they somewhat abandon the magician angle, and it starts revolving around Todd accidentally taking what he thinks is a tree branch. And I couldn't help but thinking this tree branch is flipping me off. Am I crazy here, or is this giving me the middle finger? But this is not a tree branch. This is actually a magic wand. And by touching it, he summons a demon. At first, we see this demon as an attractive woman. She doesn't look too scary. But much like the character it can take on any form. This demon essentially has to trick Todd into giving him the wand so he can take over the world. I'm glad they put this part in, because a lot of times when a kid gets attacked by a monster, why the hell can't the monster just take the wand from him? Why is it running around in circles pretending like can't just slap him and take it? But here they explain, he has to willingly give this demon the wand. That actually makes complete sense, and they should do this for more movies. I'm tired of seeing humans outrun these amazing demons that can move a million miles per hour. It's like when Michael Myers is chasing people and he just walks the entire time and somehow catches up to them every single time. The demon is named Nazarek. Appears as this beautiful blonde woman, and then the second time it appears, it's a lot more horrifying. And the makeup effects in this episode are great. We get 3 forms of the demon. They're obviously referencing the Evil Dead, the clip I showed at the beginning, of the spirit rising up saying it's going to take his soul. Straight out of Evil Dead 1. And finally, this episode is getting good. The first half, I would give a 3 out of 10. But the second half's an 8 out of 10. In fact, you could probably start this episode halfway through and miss absolutely nothing. So after turning into its 3rd form, Nazareth convinces Todd to give him the wand, saying that he'll spare his mother, who we see coming home from the grocery store. Of course, the demon then explains, "You've been tricked!" But right behind Todd is a mirror. In fact, they make this very clear. They frame him so he's right to the right of this mirror. And you go, oh, I know what's going to happen. He's going to flash his wand, and it's going to bounce back and hit him. And that's exactly what happens. So while it's predictable, the way that they frame it and shoot it is actually pretty clever. Because there's nothing wrong with kind of signaling to the audience, hey, you see that giant mirror behind him? Do you think Todd's going to move out of the way at the last minute as he shoots his wand at him? Yeah, he's going to do that. So this is hard to give a score to, but I guess I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It's just the beginning is really boring and unnecessary. Nazareth should have shown up a lot earlier. But the 3 forms look great, and actually is genuinely scary. I notice in these Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes, they'll show glimpses of something scary, but they tend to cut away from it pretty quickly. For example, when Nazareth finally rises up and does looks like a marionette on strings talking about her soul, that happens very quickly. It's like they know if they just continued that scene and continued Nazareth chasing him throughout the house, floating in the air, that would be a bit too scary. But they just give you a little bit of a dash of something quite frightening, and the special effects look good. This is also another episode written by Cassandra Schaffhausen, who wrote the last episode. Well, she only wrote 2 Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes. This one, and The Tale of the Shiny Bike, which was the previous episode. That one I didn't like very much, but this one is pretty decent. She goes on to do Arthur, Captain Planet, and Are You Afraid of the Dark helps jumpstart her career. So good for her. Should she have done more episodes? Well, if they were the second half, yes. But I don't know. She seems a bit hit and miss. And the kid Todd was played by Noah Pleener, who was in, of course, the Canadian series Ready or Not. I swear, we've had 10 kids that go on to do that series. He was Frankie Ramone in 29 episodes. And also did some voices for GTA 5 as well. Looking at some trivia, Noah Planner was apparently in The Tale of the Twisted Claw, which we reviewed earlier. And it goes on to talk about Ready or Not, who Ross Hall, who told this episode, ends up working with Noah Planner, who is the main character in this episode, in the series Ready or Not, so they have a reunion, and they get to see each other for the first time face to face. That's at least how I imagine it would happen. All roads lead to the kids' show Ready or Not, if you were a kid actor in Canada in the 1990s. It's like how every big actor was in Seinfeld, everybody was in Ready or Not. And next up is Season 2, Episode 12, The Tale of the Hatching. Since we're reviewing every single episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark, and we're back to director DJ McHale and writer DJ McHale. He did half these episodes. I'm glad to have him back. Some of these other writers are a little off base. DJ McHale just really understands pacing. And he's the Rod Serling of this series. And check out our playlist for the other series that we've covered. We're doing every single episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark, Twilight Zone, Monsters, Fear Itself, Black Mirror, Mystery Science Theater 3000, Pet Shop of Horrors, and Cowboy Bebop. Thanks a lot.